Note 6.7, similarity versus congruence. So we've got two different ideas here, similarity and congruence, but they're closely related. So it says, what is the difference between congruency and similarity? Okay, so let's talk about what congruent means. Let's revisit that. Okay, so congruent means same size and same shape. Same size, same shape. So then similarity, okay, means same shape, but not necessarily, I'm going to run out of space there, necessarily the same size. Okay? Clean that up a little bit. See if it'll recognize. Yep. Oh yeah. I like when it cleans things up. See if I can get it to clean that mess up. A little bit. Not necessarily the same size. Okay. All right. Move it over. There we go. Okay. So let's deal with those two. So it says, what are the requirements for shapes to be similar? Okay, so let's keep talking about that similarity. For shapes to be similar, what are the requirements? So the angles must be congruent, and the sides, second thing, is the sides are in proportion. And I'm going to give you an example as to what that means. Are in proportion. Okay. Maybe I can clean this up a little bit. Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's draw some pictures here and see what I mean by that. I'm just going to find my shapes. And let's do the other shapes. Let's do a triangle. Okay. There's one. There's another. Okay. And now I'm going to put some numbers on those two triangles. So I'm going to say that these two triangles are similar. And the similar symbol, because we've got all kinds of symbols in math, similar symbol is just a squiggle, okay? Is just that squiggle, okay? That means similar, okay? Where congruent's got the equal sign with the squiggle, okay? But similar's just got that little squiggle there, okay? So what if I put some numbers in here? And I said that angle is 20, and then this one's 60, and this one's 100. Well, if these two triangles are similar, this angle must be 20, this one that corresponds must be 60, and this one corresponds must be 100. So that fulfills, okay, our first bullet of angles must be congruent. But now, the sides are in proportion. So what does that mean? So what if I said that my sides were, what do I want to go with? Let's go with 6, 7, and 11 on that triangle. My sides to my bigger triangle, if they are similar, okay, could potentially be this. Now watch what I'm going to do and see if you can catch on to what's happening. This side would have to be 12. this side would have to be 14, and then this side would have to be 22. Okay? If those were, so what kind of pattern are you seeing? I went from 6, 7, and 11 to the small triangle, and now for the larger triangle, I made them 12, 14, 22. What kind of pattern are you noticing? Compare 6 to 12. Compare 7 to 14. Compare 11 to 22. So if the sides are in proportion, I think you guys talked about this last year, there must be a scale factor. So what is my scale factor in this case? How did I go from 6 to 12, and 7 to 14, and 11 to 22? Hopefully you're all saying, my goodness, Mrs. Swinton, you multiplied by 2. Okay, so that made the sides in proportion. Everything was multiplied by 2, all the sides. Angles have to be the congruent, but the sides must have a scale factor. Okay, so let's go on and talk about two triangles. It says triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay, there's that symbol, is similar to. So it says draw a picture of two triangles. Let's get our triangle again. And yep, let's go that way again. Okay. And we've got a label done. A, B, C, D, the first one. Now notice, I picked A to be that top angle, and I went in a clockwise direction. So when I go to label DEF, I have to pick the first angle to be my top angle. Because you see how A matches up with D, and B matches up with E, and C matches up with F? That means those angles correspond to each other. They're in the same position, only on a different triangle. So I've got to go D, and then I've got to go clockwise, again, E and F. So which angle corresponds to A? So I can look at it from up here. Whoops, that's a little large for my highlighter. A is in the first spot, so D is in the first spot. A is up on top, D is up on top. So angle A corresponds to angle D. So what corresponds to angle B? Again, you could look at the writing of it, B and E. B and E. And then what angle corresponds to C? Same thing. C and C. Or C and F, I should say, C and F. Angle F. Make sure you're using your symbols for angle. Now, which side corresponds to side BC? So when I look at my picture or my words from B to C, B to C, I have to go in that same direction. I started with B and I went to C, so what corresponds on the other triangle? What's in the same position on the other triangle? I have to say E to F. What corresponds to side, oops, I skipped one. So let's move that. That one went down there. Okay, well let's just backtrack. Okay. What about A to B? So from A to B in that order, what corresponds in this triangle in that same order? I have to say D, E. Which side corresponds to AC? A to C in that direction, I'd have to go from D to F. And I have to label it in that order. Okay? Corresponds means same position, different triangle. So fill in the missing information in the chart below. All right, so we still got the same triangle here. And they're telling us, okay, so if AB is 5, they list out for that triangle, so 5, 8, and 12. Okay, I'm going to go back up and label. AB is 5, BC is 8, and AC is 12. Angle A is 31. Putting in any information that I have that they're telling me, that they're giving to me. I don't know angle B or angle C. Scroll over. And then in the other triangle, EF is 5. EF is 5. And what else are they telling me? Angle F is 73. Okay, so we've got some information to be able to try and fill in here. So I'm going to let you guys try and fill in some of this information, and we're going to do this as a warm-up tomorrow in class. So we filled in the information that we're given. See if you can go from here and fill in other information. And then it says, what is the scale factor? And this last one says, so you guys are going to fill this in. You're going to do question I. Okay, there might be a little treat for those of you that can fill as much of this in as you can. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions to see if you could fill those in. Okay? Keep in mind, okay, the sum of the angles of a triangle equal 180. You need that piece of information. Okay? And then your information about similar. So see what you can do with that. That's going to be your warm-up. Which transformation will result in a figure that is similar but not congruent to the original figure? Then explain your reasoning. So in other words, similar means same shape, different size. Same shape, different size. Which transformation changes the size but not the shape? Okay? Dilation changes size but not the shape. Okay. Angles are congruent and the sides are in proportion. Just think about what dilation means. It's that multiplier. Okay, and the multiplier in a dilation is our scale factor. Okay, the multiplier is the scale factor. All right, see you guys in class.